Hello there folks, it is TIJ Gaming and welcome to part 17 of our MotoGP 19 career mode, and today it is time for the Italian Grand Prix at Mugello, one of the best races of the season in my humble opinion. Then we have a negotiation period. Something might happen there, but we learned from last year that perhaps changing teams is not the best thing to do at that point in the season. And then we go to the Catalonia Grand Prix at the Catalonia circuit. Now, in the last episode, we had the 5th and 4th race, or rather the 4th and 5th race of the season. And the 4th one was very interesting. It was a huge crash at the first corner I recommend you go and see, but it was 2 wins from 2 for speed up as Navarro won in Spain, and we won quite comprehensively in France. As you can see from the lap times, we were quite way and above anybody else. Now, I have a feeling I did change the AR difficulty at the end of last episode to 110%. Now, I'm just going to try this out. Again, I'm not really feeling that we've got the right difficulty in Mode 2, but I don't want to chuck it up too much and we'd be way off the pace, so I'm going to just try and change it gradually, and hopefully by the end of the campaign we'll have a right AI difficulty. But at the moment we lead the championship by 15 points. If you think about it, in Moto 2, that's a pretty precarious amount if you finish low down in the top 10. Our teammate Jorge Navarro could be a buzz very, very quickly. But we have a very good bike now. We've used some of our development points very nicely. As you can see, our performance looks pretty good, as well as rideability. We've made 2 of the 4 upgrades possible in the engine department, 2 of the 3 on the frame, and then 1 each in the electronic departments of the engine brake and the anti-wheelie mechanics. So, shall we go then? It's the fastest circuit of the year in terms of straight line speed, I'd imagine, down that front straight. I can't think of any others that are quicker than that down the front straight. So let's unleash the power and go to Italy for the Gran Premio d'Italia, Oakley. I don't know why it's sponsored by Oakley, it just ruins it. The Gran Premio d'Italia, that's good enough. Oh, hallelujah, we finally have a challenge. This looks like a good difficulty level. Now, we've done 3 laps so far, 2 laps in the usual track affinity test and 1 in the fast lap test. And as you can see, we are 7/10 off Schrotter and Marquez at the front. This looks like, if I can get my words right, this looks like it could be a good challenge. So we are going to, I think it might be worth not having to risk it, to be fair. If you look, there's a 5/10 delta between me and DG Antonio. It's just a question if 5 guys have set a better time than what I have in previous sessions. But I suppose it's worth getting out there just to do a few laps on the bike and see if we can get anywhere near Marcus's time. But finally, and this sounds ridiculous because you shouldn't really be celebrating not being first in a session, but finally we got a bit of a challenge. This could be a huge delta improvement. Bear in mind we're 8/10 off the time of Alex Marquez at the moment. We're now scheduled to be 4/10 above him. Goodness knows where Corsi was going to that corner. If he was letting me through, thank you very much to him. But this could be a big straight and a big time really for the whole weekend. Let's see how we end up going. Hopefully we get a bit of slipstream from these 2 bikes ahead. That'll certainly help the lap time. What is it going to be? 4/10 as the delta at the last sector. It's a 1:54.064. Not quite breaking the 53 delta, but I bet that's going to put a bit of a shock to the rest of the field. I mean, we were quite a while off the time of Alex Marquez beforehand, but to improve by that much is something I'm very proud of. But who knows, they might improve by that much now, so it could be interesting to see in the last few minutes of the session. Well, nothing really changed at the end of the session, and we go into Q2, top of the pile, but interestingly very close to the rest. Baldassarri and Schrotter set a 1:54.1 near the start of the weekend. Now, we did have a bit of slipstream on the final straight, which might well have helped our time to be propelled by a 10th or 2. So going into Q2, it is going to be massively close for the race for pole position. Bit of a scruffy lap, I'll be honest, to start off with in this Q2 session. 6/10 off the delta set by whoever it is. It was Tom Luthi when I first come out the pits for 1:54.2, but the fastest lap time I don't think will come up until we cross the line for the first time. But a bit of a scruffy lap, definite time to improve. But let's see what our first delta is. Might be in the 54s, might be in the 55s. Got a very, 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 very long toe ahead, but nothing fantastic. It's a 1:54, and it's a 1:54.8 dead, and that puts us in 5th place. But we can definitely improve, probably by about half a second, 6/10 on this lap. But we've still got 3 laps left, so we can build up to a fast lap if we need to. Bit of an improvement on that time then. I was a bit surprised actually, because we were down on our personal best throughout the whole of that, but it seems that last sector was hooked to a bit better. But a bit of an improvement, that puts us up 1 place into 4th, but really, we did set a 1:54.2 in that last session. No, 1:54.1 even, but no, 1:54 dead. Make your mind up, Toby. So, really, we should be punching above that weight, but at the moment, we don't seem to be having that pace. Will this time be good enough for the first row? We're 6/10 off Marcel's time, so no way we can get to that. It's a bit of a pity, actually, because we were with that in FP3, but if you can't reproduce your lap time, then you're not on pole. But a 1:54.5, and that just about puts us on the front row with Tom Luthi and Marcel Schrotter. Now, Alex Marquez had a fall, so he's pretty far down in 15th. Baldassari as well in 14th place, and Navarro starting a row behind us in 7th. So looking at our championship contenders and rivals, we're looking pretty good for this Italian Grand Prix, despite not starting on pole.
Hi motorcycle race fans tuning in. Today's Moto2 race is being held in the hills of Tuscany, where the Italian Grand Prix is about to start. The weather is great and the temperature is perfect for racing, so we're just waiting to find out which riders have opted for hard tyres and which have opted for soft.
It's not in line with the seasonal average. Goodness me, Keith, you say that every race. But it's a bit different. It's nice to see a great track here, of course, at Mugello. Very hot today, 49-degree tack temperature. And fairly warm in the air, if I say so myself. Wouldn't mind that sort of temperature in England today. But 28 degrees. Marcel Schrotter's on pole. Tom Luthi and myself join him on the front row. Got Bastianini 4th, Marini 5th, and Gardner 6th. So quite a unknown top 6, I was arguing about, apart from me and Schrotter. The rest haven't really been there the rest of the season. It's usually been the likes of Baldassari and Marc Marquez. We'll go through the rest of the grid, though. We've got the likes of Bulliger starting 21st, Roberts in 22nd, Agata, who had that interesting result in Jerez, he starts 26th, and Jake Dixon, the only other Brit on the grid, starts in 30th. Actually, we've got Sam Lowe, so the third Brit on the grid. But it's the 6th race of our Moto2 career. See if we can impress and, more importantly, retain our championship lead. We don't need a win today, but that would be ideal. We start on the outside line, nothing ahead of us as usual on the front row, but we need to make sure we react quickly to this start. Lights are on. And they are out for the start. Bit of a delayed reaction there, I'll completely admit that. Bit of a wheelie at the start as well. Come on, get it down. Ugh. We got the bike down. Look, we've had a little bit of a push from our teammate, but that is quite a catastrophic start. We're just going to take our racing line and hope that that is good enough into turn 1. But you've got quite a few people braking late. Just hope we don't get collected by someone. But, oh, luckily, a few taps, etc. there, but we didn't gain too much out of that first corner. Don't want to be mad because we don't want to fall off the bike. Back up to 10th place though for now. Alex Marquez with a good start. He's gone from 15th to 9th. Tom Luthi is been relegated as well from that 2nd place in the grid down to 7th. We're going to go up the inside. Probably broke way too late there. Don't want to fall off the bike. We did very well to recover that. And to be fair, we've gained 3 places. And Sam Lowe's in 6th. That's a very rare time for Sam to be in 6th. So a good start obviously for those on sort of the 4th, the 5th row. And those at the start got lagged behind quite a fair amount. But Nagashima in 5th, again a different name, interesting to see. I'm guessing Marcel Schrotter though is still leading the pack. So just got to focus on building our pace back up now to regain these positions. And equally, it's not too bad because we've got people like Sam Lowe's who aren't usually in these sorts of positions. Oh, we're off! Oh, that was a nasty crash. Oh, just pushed way too much. And we are down to the bottom of the grid. We didn't want that. We really didn't want that in this race. Oh, that's a shame. Could have massive permutations for this short-term title battle. But we're not going to be battling Sam Lowe's now. We've just got to get through this pool of riders, and our pace advantage isn't as much as it was back in Jerez. So we're just going to have to keep going as quick as we can. We've got Jake Dixon pretty much at the back of the field. Don't ask me to try and pronounce his name. He was over in 31st, now in 32nd. Oh, I think we've cut that corner just a tad. So luckily we didn't gain anything out of there. But just pushing this KTM along into the corner. He's going to try and take his teammate, it seems. Probably the momentum. Sam Lowe's, not Sam Lowe's, how dare I say Sam Lowe's. Jake Dixon going back for this 30th place, but we've got the pace onto the straight. And now it is all about slipstream. Now our bike is very good. We have a lot of good pace. Bastianini actually leads the race. Where's Schrotter? He's down in 10th, so a really poor start for the guys on the front row. Luti's in 7th. Well, I don't need to tell you where we are. But our bike is really good now on the straights, hence why we've gained quite a few positions just off using the accelerator on that straight. But we're going to try and pick any pickings here that of people going wide, etc, etc. But a fascinating race we've got now. Only 4 laps to go. We've got to get our claws out and get aggressive. Here comes Slipstream Heaven, take 2. This should be 22nd place. It's a good gain, to be fair, in the last few laps. Let's see what our lap time is compared to Gardner, who's just set the fastest lap of all. The 1:56 dead. I'll take that, considering we've had to take a few different lines to overtake different people. Now we've got good speed into the corner. Let's not carry too much speed on and knock off someone who's unfortunate. Not the best really in terms of the slipstream down there, but we were quite a fair distance behind the guys in front, so not really much surprise that we couldn't get past them. But we've only got 3 laps left. We need to make sure we get some sort of points finish. Bit of damage limitation with our fall. I'm trying to think. I think that was the first fall we have had in Moto 2, and the first fall we've had for a long while in a race. Of course, in her F, we had the equivalent of a fall. But this is really a topsy-turvy race. It's not even because of the difficulty now. It's just been a topsy-turvy title race so far. We've won, is it 3 races? We've won the first one, the one in Kota, and the one in Le Mans. We didn't win in Argentina. No, actually, no, did we fall in Argentina? We must have done. Yeah, we must have fell in Argentina, because we were a long way back, unless we just qualified a long way back. I can't really remember now. We had a really shocking start. Oh, we nearly fell off the bike again then, just taking way too much curb. But there's a clear disparity between those races. We either win them or we do shocking. It's one way or the other, and that's not the best for consistency in a title race. Now on the edge of the points playing positions, 15th place is just up there. 1 point, of course, for 15th place. I reckon predictions maybe 12 possibly, if we can get the pace. We've got our teammate just up ahead. DG Antonio's had quite a poor season, it's fair to say, when compared to myself and Navarro. Luckily, the speed-up team still being carried by Navarro in 2nd place, but in this class, it's all about individual performances, so Navarro, the better speed-up rider today. Whether we'd have had the pace to keep up with the leaders, I think we would, because our laps have been pretty competitive compared to the leaders, even though we've been having to make moves on guys ahead. But just over a lap to go, Baldassarre out at the points. It's a bit of a shock to see that title battle, but this title could go even more topsy-turvy with different people scoring different points in different races. But a good move there on Baldassarre, fairly easy. And we are just behind our teammate now for 5th. Oh, we'll tack that up the inside. Thank you very much. Nice cut back on our teammate there. So we are into the points paying positions, which is brilliant. Now to try and go for P14. Chanter up ahead. Looks like he's on a Honda bike, with the Honda logo on the back. To give a bit of a giveaway, I suppose. Yeah, I reckon probably 12th or 11th. That wouldn't be too bad given that we fell off the bike. But a bit of a wider run we take out of there just to try and get a tighter exit, and I think it works in some ways. But 11th is the one up the road, so 11th is going to be the maximum. But I'd say a lot comes down to the slipstream. I mean, look at that Honda. It's like a McLaren Honda in Formula 1 used to be. That's so slow on the straight. Marcel Schrotter with the fastest lap. We whooped that by half a second to take the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. It's just a shame that we're not going to be where he is come the end of the race. It's actually 10th, isn't it? No, it's 10th place, of course, who is just up the road. I'm guessing that might be... Ooh, don't know who it would be. Perhaps Bulliger? I don't remember seeing him on the Sky bike. I don't think he'd be anywhere above that. But Viege is giving us a good battle. We've done him dirty a bit there, so apologies to him. But we've made the position up. All's fair in love and war, I suppose. But Brad Binder just ahead with Locatelli. And yeah, I guess Bulliger in 10th place. Oh, Viege he's coming back for more. I don't blame him after we practically took him off the track. But, of course, that little scrap with the Australia Galizia rider has just put us down a little bit in our battle for the top 10. Now, it's not too far away. I mean, the slipstream on the front straight could help, but equally, to get that slipstream, we've got to be close enough to gain from that. But the one thing we don't want to do is fall off again. So we're not going to take too many risks. We need these 3 points, because you never know how valuable they'll be at the end of the season. But there's a decent gap there on Brad Binder we can go for. Nice into the corner, very strong. There we go, Bulliger is in 10th place. But nice and close to these two. Be a very good result after us falling off to manage to finish in 10th place. As you can see, Binder is way behind now, so no issue of him coming back for it. If Locatelli went a bit wide, there's a chance we could get the cut back on him. Oh, close enough. I mean, we've got him. I think we have. I think we've got him. We've got him, and now it's just a case of trying for Bulliger. Get a good run through these corners without cutting them. That's a very good run into the last corner. Locatelli's quite a while behind. Bulliger going for the racing line. Oh, careful, careful, careful. Again, wide entry, tight exit. Just put the power down. We can't quite get it down yet. We're on the corner. Get the speed out. Acceleration. I think we've got the measure of him. There's Bulliger. We've gone past him. And we are going to finish in 10th place, which is a very good result, considering where we have come from in this Italian Grand Prix. Bastianini taking the win. That's a bit of a shock, considering the grid spot. So he just benefited from the top 3 having a very poor start. But Bastianini taking a home win. Navarro representing speed up in the top 9. As you can see, all Calyx bikes apart from that. Let's have a look how that changed the championship, though. So, we lead the championship just. Jorge Navarro a point behind us. Bastianini, who won the race, only 16 behind. And Baldassarre also within 25. Next, we get to Catalonia. Let's see what happens. So, we do have some transfer offers on the table. Unfortunately, not the dream of getting to MotoGP just yet. But the KTM teams, Kiefer Racing, interesting, aren't very, well, viable. Neither is Kalex. KTM would be tempting, but we are going to stay with Ego Speed Up. There's been some very good results from them so far, but it is top 5 that we've got to try and finish now, so that could be pretty tricky. But Valentino Rossi wins the Mugello race. A nice excellence from Valentino there in front of the home crowd. We really came up with some important innovations. There we go. Yeah, we had some... we did have some change for the last race, that is right, but not enough points now to develop into the next race, so we're just going to have to go with the bike we've got into the Catalonia Grand Prix. Looking good here then in Spain. We are 6 tenths above the delta from Baldassarri and Marquez and Luti, who both set pretty close times. Have a look how that makes us look, and we're still 6 tenths clear of everyone. So, what we couldn't do last round, which was a problem, we couldn't replicate that time in qualifying. Replicate that time in qualifying, and we qualify on pole. I made quite a hefty mistake on the first lap, which means we aren't quite ahead of Marquez, but on this lap, we're half a second above that delta, just at the end of the third section. A bit of time to gain, of course, the end of the lap, a little bit wobbly out of there, but we usually are pretty good on the straights, but we've shown that in Mugello, going a little bit wide again there. Not the best end of the lap, this isn't really, but hopefully should be enough to beat Marquez, and that's a name I'm sure we'll get used to a lot over our MotoGP career. Hopefully, we're picking up a bit of a distant toe from the guy ahead, and there you go, 6 tenths above the time of Marquez. That should be enough for pole position.
Hello and welcome to the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. We'll be bringing you live coverage of the Moto2 race in just a few minutes. The rain has been falling relentlessly for a few hours now, but track conditions are good anyway, and the start of the race isn't at risk.
This might well change things. Look at this, it is absolutely hammering it down. Oh dear. That's a bit of a shock. Well, we're on pole for the start of the race. You won't be surprised to hear that. I think we have got a Marquez. There we go in second. But as you can see, it is absolutely chucking it down. Now, our record in the wet is, let's say, mixed. Some races in the wet we have dominant pace. Some races in the wet we are absolutely nowhere. I suppose we're starting in the best place, but equally we're going to be the first guy to challenge that first corner. Oh, I don't feel good about this, but we've just got to give it our best. And I think again here it's time for damage limitation. But I guess qualifying is half the job, but the race ultimately is worth the points. As you can see, it's hammering it down. Haven't had this for a long time. Just checking the bike, checking everything's okay. We wouldn't want to just fall off at the first corner. Poor Marshall having to stand there in the rain. Well, here we go. The traction's going to be an absolute nightmare off this start. Just got to try and be as quick as possible. We are away, just trying to put a little bit less power into the start, and that's not too bad. That is a brilliant start. Fantastic stuff. Just kept off the accelerator at the start. Let the bike wear up. Wear up? I meant wire up, and just get a little bit quicker with the revs. Going to be very careful into this first corner, and that is quite possibly the best start I've ever made. Well, it's got to be the best start I've made on this game in the wet, because that is an absolutely brilliant start. Retaining that first place, there is absolutely no grip. I can feel that. Just coming around the corners, this would be sort of a 4th or 5th gear corner, and we are struggling to get round it even in 2nd gear. So we're just going to be so cautious. The other riders might well try, like Marquez has, to be a little bit aggressive. That was really on cue, wasn't it? I'm not going to look behind us now, but Marquez, I think he did that thing that's called outbraking himself, and in fact he's fell off the bike now, so not the best start from him. But that's Sam Lowes in 2nd. Jesus Christ, they are hyping up Sam Lowes a bit, but I think I'm not gonna keep looking behind me. But I think it is going to be Navarro who takes that 2nd place. To be fair though, Sam Lowes holding that 2nd place. Remember, it could be a British one too. Something we don't see very often now in motorbike racing. But we've got 6 laps round here. Careful, 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 better to say. 6 laps. Let's focus and see if we can bring home the win. Few crashes on this first lap in the wet. Obviously, it is very slippy, as you can see. Manzi and Fabio D have both fell off, of course, as well as Alex Marquez. So we could expect that throughout the race, 1 or 2 falls. We've just been as cautious as possible. It seems everybody is, to be fair, because we've gapped the likes of Sam Lowes and Navarro quite well. Whether it is that Sam Lowes has got a slower bike and he's holding everybody up, I can take that certainly in this race. Well, clear that Lowes was a bit slower. Look at that. He just fell from 2nd to 7th. Whether that be that perhaps he got pushed out by Navarro, he got a bit irritated, I don't know, but that just shows Sam Lowes wasn't really got the pace for 2nd. Our teammate perhaps is up for a bit more of a fight than Sam Lowes. He was half a second down at that delta at the sector, but he made a massive move from half a second beyond. As you can see, it's not worked very well for him, but goodness me, we're going to have to stop this cautious game. It's not going to be a breeze to win this. Oh, Locatelli's fell off the bike. I thought that was Navarro falling off, to be honest. Sam Lowe's off as well. That's a real shame. To be fair, I was taking the mick, but he was doing well, considering how far he usually finishes up the grid. But a lot of falls today, and a lot of incidents. Not surprised with this this tricky condition, definitely in this race. But we've pulled quite a gap now from Navarro, so it looks like he was having a bit of a go and then just keeping it off a bit. But we are just, as I said before, trying to keep it as cautious as possible in this race. Marcel Schrotter's now fell off the bike. That's a big one for the title race. He's usually up there in the title race. We've got Ottel up in 4th, which just proves how mad this race has been. Quite a few of the front runners falling off. Hopefully, our teammate Navarro doesn't fall off. I know that we're fighting him for the championship, but he's our teammate at the end of the day. We'd love to secure a speed up 1-2 in this race, but as you can see, we're pulling quite a gap now from the rest of the field. We've just got that confidence, but also the cautiousness that we need, I think. Just that balance to keep the pace to lead this race. Christ, Sam, I know you fall off quite regularly, but you didn't need to fall off twice. Most of the entertainment of this race is looking at the right-hand side of the screen, looking who's fell off the bike. God. Holding a good, consistent gap to Navarro behind. It's nice to see, really. About 1.6 seconds. That being said, I feel like he's chasing after me a bit now. He's heard that we're quite a way ahead, and he wants to close the gap and potentially go for a move on the final lap. But as you can see, we have gapped the rest of the field so much. Think about it. Most of our direct competitors have fell off the bikes and are back near the back of the grid. I mean, we've got Tom Luthi in 3rd, but his pace wasn't great in quali. Neither was Ottel in 4th. But the gap, coming on to the final lap, we'll find that out very soon. I think this is going to be a personal best. It is a 1:56.5. 1.1 seconds is the gap. So I think unless we make a mistake, or Navarro is stupid enough, I think we should retain this first place. I can't see him going for a stupid move. Got a bit of a tickly. I've got a bit of a cough, so can't really commentate for extended periods. You probably noticed my voice went a bit dodgy at the end of that bit there, but I'll try and keep it going till the end of the lap. But as you can see, Navarro a decent amount of time behind me. In the dry, I'd have been a bit worried, but I don't think he'll dare go for it in the wet, as I said, unless we make quite a stinker of a mistake. But a lot of overtaking moves in this race. Been quite an exciting one for the neutrals. For me, I've just been driving my own race up at the front, riding even. I always make that silly mistake. I've been riding my own race up the front. We had a good start, and I think that probably won us the race, as we reflect on it. But apparently the gap to Navarro is nothing, according to that delta on the left-hand side of the screen. But I'm sure that's not true. We're about a second ahead, so just the last 2 sectors to go. Let's just keep it nice and clean, as we have for the whole race, and we will secure another win in our Moto2 trophy cabinet. Yep, happy with that. Gap of a second, just a few more corners to go through now. Keep it nice and composed. This right-hander probably being the only issue, really. Keep it nice and tight. There we go. Go up into 3rd, just to keep the revs a little bit lower. We can afford to do that with him being so far behind. And unless Jorge Navarro gets a very good run out of the final corner, we're going to come around the final corner. It's been a light to flag win. Really, free practice tick, qualifying tick, race tick, perfect. Round the Catalonia circuit in Spain, we come across the line and win the Spanish Grand Prix of Moto2. Chuffed with that, absolutely chuffed. As you can see, that was close between the fastest laps between the two of us. Only 0.02 of a second in it. Anybody else close to that? No, as you can see. Oh no, Jake Dixon. Jake Dixon got the fastest lap. Now, where on earth did that come from? As you can see, wow, just look at how far some of these are behind. 52 seconds after 6 laps. Unbelievable. An interesting race, and the championship now looks like this. So we've got a 6-point gap to our teammate. You're probably starting to notice now that it's becoming more of a 2-horse race. Maybe a 3-horse race if Bastianini can get back into it. But the rest of the riders are simply starting to drift away, which is a bit of a shock. The likes of Marcel Schrötter, I think he won the title last year. But if you have a few bad races in a row, or a few good races, I said there, it can massively change your championship either way. I don't really want to be out in the rain celebrating, to be honest, rather back in the garage, because it is absolutely chucking it down. I don't think you need a cap, mate, in this sort of weather, or a short sleeve shirt either. You'd be absolutely freezing in the cold. But the team are chuffed. Another speed up win. Haven't had one for a few races now, since race 5 in Le Mans. So the speed up team having a fantastic season with ourselves and Navarro, and DG Antonio isn't proving to do a bad job either. Bloody card on the window going absolutely ape. As you can see, team leader position, that hasn't changed. And now in Saturday's episode, we will go to Assen and to, I think from memory, it's Austria. No, it's not Austria. What am I about? It's Germany. The Saxon Ring for that race. Let's do a bit of air development for the next episode. We are going to do some anti-wheelie, because I think that's probably better in terms of the starts to get those right. And then we'll have some development points, hopefully, to improve these elements throughout the season to build pretty much the perfect bike. But thank you very much for your company today. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. I certainly did. I've been TIJ Gaming, and until Saturday, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye for now.